Hello my keto peeps, it's Samaya and welcome back to my channel, I Don't Sugarcoat. Today I'm going to show you how to make something really cool with my keto Lupin bread. So let's get started. Today's video is sponsored by Wholesome Provision. They are a company located right here in the US and they specialize in making keto and low carb friendly products. Go on their website today and check out all the wonderful things they have to offer. I am certain there's something on there that you will absolutely love. I particularly like using their Lupin Flour and their Allulose sweetener blend. I will leave a link in the description of this video for their website. Now let's jump into today's recipe. Okay, so as I said in the opening, I'm going to be showing you something that I like to make with my Lupin bread recipe. Now you guys have seen me make my Lupin bread a couple of different ways with a couple of different variations. Today, I'm just going to be making the standard version of the bread and then we're going to do something extra to it. Now, in the description of this video will be the list of ingredients and measurements for my bread recipe. However, I have measured all of this out myself and you will get the proper gram measurements that I use when I make my bread. So those of you who may be having trouble making this bread recipe, if you're using grams, in today's video, there will be proper measurements listed down below. So I hope this helps those of you who have been struggling with this bread recipe. So I have already pre-mixed my stuff in this bowl here today, and I will just read off the list of what's in here, and I'll probably display a banner across the lower part of the screen or maybe on the side that gives a list of what's in my bowl as I tell it to you. So in my bowl, I have 1 1/4 cups of some vital wheat gluten. I have 2/3 cups of some Lupin flour. I have a 1/2 cup of oat fiber. I have 30 grams of some allulose blend here. I have 1 teaspoon of some salt. I have 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. And let's see. And then that's going to be it for the list of dry ingredients. I did, however, add in 1 teaspoon of some Italian seasoning for this because we're going to be making a pizza bread, you guys. So that is all for the dry ingredients that's in this bowl. And now we're going to move on to our wet ingredients. Okay, as you can see, today I'm going to be using a different mixer. I love the KitchenAid stand mixer, but one of the things I didn't love so much was when I would make bread doughs in it. I didn't like that I would constantly have to scrape the bowl until it finally came together into a uniform ball of dough and it could just work itself by itself. So that really just sort of bugged me. So I went looking for a solution and this is what I decided to go with. This is the NUTRITIONAL Artiste, and I really like this thing for making doughs. I really do. I love making bread doughs in here. It is fantastic for that. And I can just throw my ingredients in and leave it and it will do what it's supposed to do. So I hope you guys can see from up top. You got a good view from up top and you'll be able to see down into the bowl, and I will hopefully be able to show footage of it working together if I can. I do have to have this lid on and it is see-through, so I hope you'll be able to see enough of it as it works, just in case you've been feeling that same frustration that I have when making bread dough in the KitchenAid stand mixer. So this is an option. There are other options that are just like this that have the bowl on top, but I was looking for something that wasn't quite as expensive since I already have a nice expensive unit behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have some hot water in here that is at 130 degrees. To this, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of water. 2 tablespoons of butter. And this was 1 cup of water. Okay, and next I'm going to be adding 2 room temperature eggs. I'm going to be adding just a squeeze, 1 teaspoon squeeze of some honey. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on, let this mix. Okay, now to this, I'm going to add my bowl of dry ingredients. And then lastly, I'm going to sprinkle 1 tablespoon of some instant yeast on top of here. Then I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to turn it to number 3 because that's what this machine suggests. Don't go past 3 when it's making bread dough. And I am going to turn it on to number 3 for 6 minutes. And when I come back, I'm going to have a beautiful ball of dough. And hopefully you guys will get to see some of this thing in action from the camera above. All right, now my dough is done and I'm gonna go ahead and take off the lid. You guys, seriously, look at how my dough looks. It looks so beautiful. And it's so soft and so supple and so together. I love the way this machine handles bread dough. I really do. And just so you know, I'm not being sponsored by them. I just really am sold on this machine. Okay, now I'm not going to flour my surface because I want my dough to sort of have something to adhere to so it'll stay nice and rolled out. But I am going to flour my rolling pin so it won't stick to this. And if you find that it's sticking, just add more. And I'm using some oat fiber here. And what you want to do is get this rolled into a nice rectangle. All right, so I've got this rolled out to roughly the size of maybe 13 by 11 rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need it to be perfect. Just get it rolled out as best you can. And the reason why, and this is the exact reason why I didn't want to use anything for the bottom, is because I want this dough to stay stretched out as far as possible. So I want it to stick to my surface. So I would suggest doing that. Now in my bowl here, I have 2/3 cup of some low carb marinara sauce. And I am going to spread this onto my dough. Okay, that's perfect. That looks perfect to me. Now what I'm going to do is I have some sliced provolone cheese here. And honestly, you can add whatever kind of cheese you like, but I love sliced provolone. So I'm going to be using this today. And I am going to add as many as I can fit onto my bread here. Okay, so I ran out of provolone slices. I don't know why I thought there were 12 in there, but that's okay. I'm just gonna have 2 with some of this here Monterey Jack cheese. And I'll just have 2 slices like that. It'll be fine. Okay, now that I have that added, I'm just gonna sprinkle on just a little bit of some Parmigiano Reggiano. All right, so when you look at the nutritional facts for this recipe, please note that it's gonna vary depending on what products I'm using versus what you're using. So don't be feeling discouraged or whatnot if it comes out that your stuff is higher than what mine is. All right, now I'm gonna just start adding on some pepperonis here. Okay, now that I have that all nice and covered in cheese and pepperoni and sauce, what I'm going to do now is I am going to split this dough down the middle, and I'm going to try to cut along where I have the cheese slices. Okay, and you just want to do the same thing across. I've cut 4 this way, and I'm going to cut 3 this way. All right, and now that that's done, what we want to do now is we want to start stacking these on top of one another. Just like so. Okay, and now I'm going to take my bread pan and I'm going to turn it like this, and I'm going to start with putting half of it into my pan here. And you want to be careful so as not to lose any of your toppings. Okay, and then you want to flip it over like so. And now look at that. It looks so good. And so we are going to let this rise for maybe 15 to 30 minutes, not too long, just enough so it can expand out a little bit and really fill up the pan. And then we're going to bake this. I'll be back when it's ready to bake.
Hey guys, so I'm just going to pop in right here because the rest of the footage for this video was not usable. It had some audio issues and there was also something obstructing the view of the front camera. So I had to go ahead and quickly redo the bread again, but I only captured the top down view just so you guys could see what you missed. As you can see here, this time I put the bread into 2 separate pans because usually when I make this, I would do it in a commercial size loaf pan, but my pan got messed up and I haven't replaced it yet. So I tried to do it in the one, but that was no good. It ended up coming out of the pan. So I would not suggest doing that. I would suggest breaking it up, doing it into 2 pans if you don't have a commercial size pan. You're going to want to bake this at 375 for 35 to 45 minutes, and you're going to want to cover it somewhere between the 10 to 15 minute range, just so you can make sure it doesn't over brown. You're going to want to let it sit and cool so that way it can shape to the size of the loaf pan. If you remove it from the pan too early, and you'll see that I did that in the second filming of this, it's going to kind of spread all over the place. But it still ended up being very, very delicious, and I enjoyed it very, very much. And I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut to the ending of this video so I can say my signature goodbye. Thank you guys so much.
So that's going to be it for me today, you guys. If you like this video, please hit that like button for me. And if you're new here, click that subscribe button and don't forget to ding that little bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. And until next time, you guys, bye.